Yo everybody, this is Game Matcher 127, and welcome back to another episode of A Tale of the Noble Knights. Haven't done this series in a long time. It's been many years since I've done this. So, as you're aware, Konami released two new cards that got introduced in, I believe it was Extreme Force. And so we're going to be talking about one of those cards today. And so, just where we are in the continuity of The Tale of the Noble Knights. The series concluded many years ago with Part 11. And this story that I'm going to be telling you about takes roughly a couple years after Part 5, which is the Knights United. Many of the Knights of the Round Table, for which the Noble Knights are based off of, just a refresher in case you guys weren't aware of that, have gone through the world spreading, chivalrous deeds and goodwill towards humanity, yada, 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 because, they're trying to impress Arthur, make sure he's, like the greatest king of England, yada, 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 you got that. However, this is one of those times. So today's subject that we're going to be talking about today is Isolde, which is the two tales of the Noble Knights. Link 2 monster, pretty good card, like having her in there. It's really nice to have an actual Link monster for the Noble Knights. She's pretty good, kind of wish her attack was a little bit higher, but that's okay, I digress. So like her title suggests, she actually has two tails, because Isolde is in fact based off of two people, which is just like it is in the card. There's one woman on the left, there's one woman that's on the right. So, just roughly context here, before we can really get into Isolde's story, we must first go into the story of her lover, which is in fact Noble Knight Drystan, or his Knights of the Round Table variant, which is Tristan. So where we are in the story is Tristan has just defeated an Irish knight, and he's traveling to Ireland to bring back, it's now the woman on the right, her name is Iseult. And Iseult is now pledged to be married to Tristan's uncle, Mark. However, along the way, don't know how this happens, they both drink a love potion, which causes both of them to fall madly in love with each other. There's some versions where it says it lasts a lifetime, there's some where it only lasts a couple of years. However, more or less, it's very quickly turning into a precursor to the Arthur, Lancelot, Guinevere love triangle. This is kind of one of those things that it got based off of. So eventually, Mark figures out that these two are having an affair, and he wants to trap them, punish them, and just be done with them. So he eventually sends Tristan to be hanged, and he has his wife, Iseult, burned at the stake. Tristan eventually escapes, and he rescues Iseult, and then they escape into the forest before finally being discovered by Mark. Tristan, again, makes peace with his uncle. He returns Iseult to Mark, and he vows to leave the country. So, Tristan eventually travels to Brittany, which I believe is Great Britain, where he marries, for her name and her beauty, which is iffy on this, I guess, is another woman named Iseult of the White Hands, which is now the woman on the left. And just so I can try to get that in. This camera's not really great for focusing. And it also doesn't help because this rarity is so shiny. But yeah, he marries the woman that's on the left. And she is the daughter of, I believe, the King of Brittany. So everything seems to be going, great for, for those two. During one adventure, though, Tristan suffers a poisonous wound. Some say it was from Mark's lance that had just now taken effect. And so he says to his wife that the only person who can cure me of it is, in fact, his former lover, the other Iseult of Ireland, who was, at the time, considered probably one of the most skilled people there. And so he sends a ship for her, and he tells her, if she is on board, fly a white sail. If she's not, sail a black. So, Tristan, of course, he's, suffering, he's having the poison, so he's too weak to look out the window to see what it is. So he has his wife check to see which one it is. She tells him it's black. And he dies immediately. When this one figures out that Tristan's dead, she dies. So it's kind of like as a, it's like a side story fun fact, do you remember the story of Theseus? Theseus had just returned from his fight with the Minotaur, from the King Minos, which is the guy from Crete. And he was told by his father that if he was coming back to fly a black sail, and he would stand out there from the Aegean Sea, which is what he's based off of, another fun fact, and if it was white, then he's been killed. Well, he was a little occupied at the moment, and he forgot to change the flag. So he flew a white sail. Father sees the white sail, dies immediately. Again, there's a lot of stuff that's really based off like the same thing. So anyway, wrapping up with that side tangent over, we have reached yet another conclusion to the Tale of the Noble Knights. Now once again, this isn't the end. There is yet another card that was released with Isolde, and that is, in fact, Glory of the Noble Knights. But you'll have to stay tuned in next time for when I get into this one. And with that being said, thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see you next time.